I think the best writers are the best readers. But you don't just read to read. You don't just read to get to the end of the book. You read to examine what the author does and how the author affects you the way they do. So I think one of the best things for becoming a writer is to read a book a second time. So you already know what happens. That's not your concern. You already know how the book affected you. So you read it again to figure out why it did what it did and how the author did that, right down to word choice, right down to where the author puts a comma. It can be that nuanced. It's not always that nuanced, but something like that. But to keep reading and to keep analyzing from a writer's perspective, but it is also about wasting paper. I really buy into the outliers theory that it takes 10,000 hours of practice to get good at something. I don't know that it took me exactly 10,000 hours, but if you told me it did, I would not be surprised. Writing's all about wasting paper. You have to be willing to waste paper. You have to be willing to write stories that you will 5 years later be embarrassed that you wrote, but that's how you get where you're going. And I like to tell my master's students that for me, from the day I graduated from my master's program to the day my book comes out is almost exactly 10 years. That's a lot of practice. And I never stopped writing. I went through lulls, but I never stopped writing. I certainly never stopped reading, but it takes that long to get good at something.